Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's me, Mitch. All 28 of you so far. Okay. Where is everybody this morning? Tuesday morning, May the 13th. May the 13th. How y'all doing this morning? There they come. People are starting to come in now. I guess everybody's out getting their coffee. Well, welcome. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And as usual, drink it if you got it. Wow, that's good. That's good. Little blues to wake you up this morning. Yes, sir, I've been up. I've been up since 5:30. That's how I roll. All right, let's see if I can use my right hand here on the fader. Wow. It still takes an effort. And fade out the music gracefully and professionally. Well, yesterday it rained like hell here in Florida. That was great. We needed the rain. Here we go. Today, the sun's shining. It's a gorgeous morning. Pop my head outside for a second. Take the trash out. Whatever the reason, it's great. It's great to feel the morning sunshine and get a little fresh air. Get a little fresh air. I see people are starting to come in. So good morning to everyone who did not hear me say good morning to you already. It appears that this morning YouTube didn't cut off. It didn't cut off. At least I don't think they did. The chat from yesterday. No, they didn't. And I put the stream up at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and sure enough, well, right at 4 o'clock, in comes Lady June from United Kingdom. Of course, it was later in the day there, but Lady June, how are you? Furrow Grandma stopped in at 4:30. Nikki W. stopped in, said good evening. That was at 5:26 p.m. Michael Pregler followed shortly thereafter. Not going to be with us today. He'll be in the woods turkey hunting. Well, good luck, Michael. Bag a turkey or two. Janelle. Right after 6 o'clock, Janelle Sobaski. Good morning, Mitch. I'll be sipping my tea in solidarity with you. No, I'm not from the UK. I just don't like coffee. Oh, well, that's fine. That's fine. Mike's really still in the Philippines. When are you coming home, Mike? You've been there for quite a while. Bandy Bedows, how are you? Good morning. Or in the case of yesterday, 6:30, good evening. A lot of people chimed in last night. This is what YouTube cut off yesterday for me. Lori is here and last night, and Smoothie was here last night, and Rick was here last night. I'm sure that we will see them check back in this morning. So Lady June was the last one to say something. She said good morning, and it was 12:31 our time, a.m., but obviously about 5 hours difference, or 4 or 5 hours difference in the UK. So good morning, June. No insomniacs last night. We're getting better. Wayne Herman was here. Wayne Herman's here this morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. How are you at 7:24? Mike Silly chimed in. Rick Charger Mopar chimed in and said good morning. Terry Sue said good morning. Sandy Blythe said good morning. Now we're up to about 9 o'clock. Wow. Which is about the time that I got everything set up and running, and said hello to everybody. Beatitude says hello, friends, and Thomas Target Prime Ribs with us. Good to see you, Thomas. Jemmet, how are you? Jemmet 48. Good morning, Mitch and Mitch Fits. Love Mitch's stew meat and ice cream videos. Each day you're getting better, Mitch. Looking good, my friend. Thank you. Looking good is a relative and a term compared to what? And thank you for that. I'm looking as good as I think I can possibly look, but compared to some, I probably look like a crotchety old man. Point of view, I suppose. Gary Ango. Good morning from Michigan. Good morning, Gary. How are you? How are you, my friend? 9:14 a.m. Thomas and Jemmet. Hey, the police are here. Carnivore Police. Good morning, Dad, Bud, Mitch, and beautiful Yorba Linda, California. Good to see you, my friend. Harry Dion chimed in. Hi, Harry. How you doing? Good to see you this morning. Everybody's starting to say hi to everybody else until Tammy comes along, and Tammy chimed in at 9:16. Good morning, Mitch, and y'all Mitch Fits. And CB Carmack is here. Good morning. Cups out and coffee made. Sip, sip. You got it, CB. How you doing, Sheriff? Always good to see you, my friend. Bob Black's with us. Good morning. Hi, Bob. Now we get the people starting to vie for the honor of being first at the bell. And we have Charles Faircloth, 929. Gary Noslow, 929. Marla Kelly. Lizzie. Aaron, good morning to you. How you doing at 929? Rick again. 929. Oh, so close. So close, Thomas. But the winner this morning is Tammy Kitchen Witch. Tammy, good morning. Mitch and Mitch Fitz, how are you? Good to see you. Congratulations. I would ask Johnny to tell you what you've won, but Johnny's a deadbeat and never shows up, so we'll just congratulate you. Sorry if you're at all disappointed that the new car that was promised was only a joke. And Harry Dan at 9:30, good to see you. Mama Bear chimed in. Lori was back. Lady June was back. Dixie was back. Ron Priest. How are you? Chimed in at 9:30. Thomas again. Rick again. And Lat was the first one who brought up the end of the 9:30s and started with 9:31. So we'll continue in a minute. I have a few show notes. I thought I'd get that welcome and thank you out of the way first thing. We can get on with it. This is an interactive thing, and what I do is interact with you. So give me something to work with, guys. You got questions for me about anything, about me, about the world, about carnivore? Ask it. QQQ, capital Q's in the chat, and I'll pick them out. Doesn't have to be a question. If you heard something outstanding that you think it would be great for the entire group, think I have a little discussion and perspective on, I'd be happy to do that. Throw the QQQ in there. I won't get mad at you. Unless it's a stupid question or you're a troll. Probably won't get mad at you then either. I'll laugh. Today, first thing, let me get rid of that stupid scrolling. That stupid scrolling banner down there and remind you, replace it with a buy me a coffee. Thank you so much if you do. You guys have been very generous this month because of my birthday, and I really appreciate it. I also want to take time. To talk about, and I told you I would do this, to re-mention and bring it to the forefront of your mind, my Amazon affiliate links on the OldGuyCarnivore website. I want to point out a new addition I put in there yesterday, and that's this these little, they cost $7, these little push-down whisks, which I used in my video yesterday to make ice cream. It's a handy little thing for whisking eggs, for beating up anything, mixing any kind of liquids. They work great, $7. Easy to clean. I love them. They're in there. Also, I may re-point out to you yesterday, because this is the deal of the century. The DBA, it's even cheaper than yesterday. It's down to $69. Yesterday it was $71. This thing, my friend, if you don't have a carbon steel pan, this is a chance to get one. It's a great, great deal. I love this pan. And when I see something that's on sale from my links, I want to try to point it out to you. This is a good deal. You can call this the Mitch Home Shopping Club if you like. My favorite carbon steel pan and my favorite frying pan that you see me use it all the time is the Mueller 12-inch. And it's $34. It's better than these $150 signature pans from Emeril Lagasse and Gordon Ramsay. That's all hype. This thing for $35 is a deal. It comes on sale. I'd wait, though, because it comes on sale for $25. And when that happens, I always buy 2 of them. I got a stack of them in my closet. You can't have too many of these put away. About every 6 months or so now, it seems, I replace it with a new one, because they do discolor. And you end up using metal utensils, maybe scratch them up a little bit. Today, I'm going to make a video, another cooking video, because it appears that you guys love them. Cooking videos. You just want me the equivalent of, I guess, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. You guys love me in the kitchen, and I can do more of that since I cook every day. It may not be a big production, but today I'm going to cook up for my first meal of the day a couple of those new frozen salmon fillets that I get from Sam's Club. They're terrific, and I want to show you how I've cooked them. I'm always looking for better ways, tastier ways to eat salmon, because I should eat more of it. I think we all should. Get those omega-3s, and this stuff is great. The fact that it's frozen actually makes it better. It's probably one of these things that are frozen right on the boat. Can't say that for sure. But they flash freeze them, vacuum seal them, and flash freeze them individual fillets of, I guess, about 4 ounces. I haven't weighed it. One of them would make a great side dish with eggs. 2 of them is a meal. 2 of them, even maybe 3 of them if you got a big appetite. But 2 pounds of them, they're about $10 to $12 a pound, which is reasonable for wild-caught Alaskan sockeye salmon. And this stuff is great. And I cook it with the skin on, you'll see. So, short video today about how I cook this salmon. And also, when I got my order yesterday from Sam's, I got another package of stew meat which I'm going to vacuum seal. So I'll include that little bonus extra in the salmon video. And we'll talk about the salmon. I'll show you the packaging, nutritional information, and all that. So that's probably coming out either today, but more than likely tomorrow. What else have I got in my show notes here, if anything? I got up this morning in a different frame of mind. I said to myself, I don't think today I could tolerate even 1 minute of those female local news anchors they have the most annoying voices. They drone on and on with the news. They all sound exactly like one another. They have a boilerplate morning network news voice. Nobody talks like that. I get so tired. That, as well as the ridiculous content and all the commercials, make me turn it off anyway. I have to find some place to find out if the world hasn't blown itself up last night, but I think I am almost done with the morning news. If I see another drug ad, hospital ad, clinic ad, nursing school ad, lawyer ad, car dealer ad, liposuction ad, Sono Bello ad with a horrible looking women both before and after, misshapen, showing that stuff off. You can go from this to that. Yeah, and then you go back in the hospital when the infection sets in. I can't take it anymore, sorry. So you might not be hearing too many comments. But like everything else, nothing I say is ever guaranteed. I may change my mind tomorrow, and I reserve the right to do that. Oh, I put up the ice cream video. I want to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get to the chat. Don't forget to put the QQQs. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that ticker. What other tickers did I make here? Got the Buy Me a Coffee ticker. I got the links to stuff I use. I got the welcome that I put up there in the morning. That's all I have. That's enough. I really don't like that scrolling stuff. Why do I have lat lit up here? Why does it say lat hello? Where did that come from? But there it is, 9:30. Lucky you, you got to be up there the whole time I was talking. Oh, I need a producer director to keep me in line when I get going. My ice cream video, I want to talk a little. I'm going to make a follow-up video to that, maybe later in the week or next week, because this ice cream thing has got me perplexed. I love ice cream. I've always loved ice cream. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I managed to live for 2.5 years without a taste of it. I'll have to blame Kelsey for putting an end to that streak with 1 teaspoonful of his ice cream when I visited them earlier this year in Sarasota. Then I further have to blame him for buying me this Ninja Creamy thing. Now, my goal and my quest has always been to have a treat, but that goes contradictory to everything I've been preaching all these years. You know it. It's hypocrisy. I'm the first one to realize when I'm being a hypocrite. How many times have I said, do not, under any circumstances, make low-carb versions of addictive foods. It only leads to disaster. Something I had discovered. And here I am, extolling the virtues of making low-carb foods that mimic addictive foods. And ice cream is addictive. Is it addictive because of the sugar? Or the cream? Or both? Is it the chemical content? The experience of eating that cold, creamy stuff that melts in your mouth? Whatever it is. Some of us can do it, and some of us, it leads to disaster. Now, one thing about the Kilt ice cream, and everybody's asked me, why don't you put egg yolks in it? I don't put egg yolks. I tried, and I ended up just making a humongous mess trying to separate the yolk from the white because of the way my hand works right now. So I said, okay, let me try to make it without egg yolks and see what egg yolks and see what happens. I tried to put a whole egg in a couple of times, and like I told you in the video, it seemed like whatever I did, the ice cream turned into cheese. Because that's how they make cheese. If you over-process it, cream, you're going to get butter or cheese out of dairy products, which is solid at room temperature and certainly does not give you an ice cream eating experience, which is what I talked about in that video, about how critical having the frozen base at the proper temperature before you try to process it, because it either becomes cheese or powder. And the more you try to repair it, the closer to cheese it gets. It was very frustrating for me. Well, my addiction, like I told you, had come back full strength after my hospitalization. And you don't think clearly when your addiction is controlled, and I haven't been thinking clearly, and I have been thinking that I can figure out some way to have this treat, which I love, and manage to control myself. And I keep trying to find some kind of way. And I thought, well, maybe making it in small batches. But it turns out that a small batch in the creamy is about 8 ounces. It's about half of that cup that they give you. And I casually thought I figured it out, but I didn't. And 8 ounces of that ice cream, I can't sugarcoat this, that's 1,000 calories. Well, 1,000 calories is a lot, but not compared to the food the standard American diet eaters consume. They can consume 3,000-4,000 calories at a meal, especially with the dessert. But my goal is to eat 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. Now, I can eat a big helping of bacon and eggs. That's under 1,000 calories. I can eat a pound of beef, which is a lot of calories. But if I throw 1,000 calories worth of ice cream, and I know calories don't count, but excess calories do get stored. Excess energy, excess food does get stored as fat. Now, for me, the goal here was to put on a few pounds. So that's a good result. And that's one of the rationalizations that I use to say, well, addiction be damned, ice cream is going to be good. The nutritional value, without sugar, the nutritional value of heavy whipping cream is tremendous. It's got all kinds of things in it. And I've got, let me see if I can get it on the screen here. I've got, let me blow it up a little bit so that it shows up bigger. Okay, let me show you this. I've got a little summary. Nutrition of heavy whipping cream. Heavy whipping cream is mostly fat, so it's high in calories. It's also rich in choline, fat-soluble vitamins, and certain minerals. 1/2 cup of liquid cream, here's where I screwed up, is equivalent to 1 cup of whipped cream. And I'm thinking in my mind, and I know better, well, 1 cup, 16 ounces, so 8 ounces is 1/2 cup. No! This coffee cup is a 16-ounce cup. This is really, by definition, 2 cups of coffee. A cup. That's not something we deal with every day, but a cup, and I know this, is 8 ounces. So when I eat a half a thing of that ice cream, I'm eating 2 times 408 calories. That's 800 calories. But look what I'm getting. I'm getting 6 grams of protein, 86 grams of fat. There's 6 grams of carbs. It's not good, but it's not 20. It's still like ketovore. I'm getting 55% of the vitamin A that I need, 10% of the vitamin D, 7% of the vitamin E, 6% of the calcium, 6% of the phosphorus I need, 4% of the choline I need, and 3% of the vitamin K. It's got all that stuff in it. So, in reality, it's pretty nutritious. Add an egg or two, we'll add a couple hundred calories to it, but look at the nutrition. So this stuff is got to be good for you, except for 2 reasons. Number one, if you're trying to lose a lot of weight, probably will sabotage you. And number 2, if you can't not control yourself in how much you eat, and you end up eating it 2, 3 times a day, it's dynamite. It's going to blow up your entire effort. And it's an individual thing. And I've gotten a lot of comments from a lot of you on both sides of that issue, and you're both right. And it all comes down to those 2 points. If you're not afraid of gaining a little weight, or you want to gain a little weight, it's good. If you have a lot of weight to lose, no. If you are an addict like maybe I am, it's bad, because you'll end up just gorging on this stuff. And I have been waffling on this ice cream issue for the past 6 weeks. Here's what I'm going to try now. I don't want my addictions controlling me. I truly believe, I always believed, and I still believe, that we shouldn't be trying to make treats and snacks. Anything we eat should be part of a meal. So if you eat this ice cream in conjunction with a meal, it becomes part of the meal. If you eat it between meals, not good. Not good. It's possible if you eat it with a meal that you'll be satisfied enough at the end with all that fat that it'll tame your addiction to the point where you don't go back for seconds. And that's what I found out. But the cravings can come back at times of the day when you don't want to eat. And if you're weak, like I can be, you'll go make another one. So the way I'm going to control it is I'm going to allow myself to have 8 ounces of this stuff once every 3 or 4 days. I am not going to keep any frozen base in the freezer. So on the day I decide I'm going to try to have this ice cream, I will have to make it up in the morning, put it in the freezer, and I've discovered that freezing it for 4 to 5 hours, or learning how to properly partially defrost what I put in the day before I make it, will net me some decent ice cream. I'm putting a small amount of allulose in there. I may cut back on that. I may try adding the eggs. It's just an ongoing experiment. I'm hoping that I can come up with some way to control myself or I'm just going to give it up entirely. I may have a drawing for the creamy machine and give it away, because the only way that I can control my addictions is not have that stuff in the house. That means no cream, no allulose, no vanilla extract, and most important, no ice cream machine. I hate to do that because it was a gift. I know a lot of you are going to start trying to encourage me to give it up so that we can have a drawing or something for the ice cream machine. But we'll see. That's where I stand on the ice cream. I've had 30 or 40 comments where people have said, why don't you use eggs? I could not answer each one of those individually. The answer was, at this point, it's too tricky for me to try to separate yolks from whites after the stroke. And that's the primary reason. I'm not averse to having a raw egg in there. It makes it better. It makes it better. I started this little diatribe talking about how people really like my cooking videos. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. If you guys have been asking me questions, let me see what's in the chat. Melissa B., good morning to you. And you see the chat going by to my right. That's another thing I'd like you to tell me, maybe in an email, so I'm sure to get it. Do you like it better when I have the chat on the screen or when I don't have the chat on the screen? Have the chat. Don't have the chat. Have the chat. Okay. Let me know. I'm going to take a look. I want to take a look at the with the chat, says MS. No chat, says Lori. Bill Cook says bad. That doesn't help me. You might be talking about the ice cream. MS says, how long have you been carnivore? I've been straight carnivore for almost 3 years, interrupted by my stroke and the hospital re-addicting me to sugar. But I went 2.5 years without a gram of sugar. Lori likes me all by myself. Jemmett likes to chat. So far, we're running 50-50. No chat is better because I am already in the chat. But so many people, the reason I put it up there is everybody watching on a TV, on a Roku TV. I've got right now 131 people actually watching this stream. 20 or 30 tops of you are participating in the chat. There are way and always way many more people that watch it or watch the replay. It can be thousands that don't see the chat. So right now I'm going to stick with the chat in the window. You get a little less of me, I like to think. I'm pretty enough to overcome that. Oh, yes. On that note, Jemmett said it. There you go. Jemmett, thank you for that. I thought that was an answer. Chat, because you can watch in the TV. And I think the chat is interesting. And I would think those of you who are chatting would want everybody watching to see what you're talking about, because you're trying to make, a lot of times, important. There you go. Gemma says, chat can see on TV and type in chat on phone. Yeah. That's how I watch YouTube. And if I want to participate in a chat, like I go watch Kelsey one morning, I watch it on my Roku TV, but I open it up on my phone, so I have a way to chat. I think that for the purpose of my morning live streams, most of the time I'll leave the chat up unless I'm trying to do something like show you something on the screen. Thanks for the feedback. let me know also. Let me know if you got a compelling reason why this screen just simply doesn't give you enough of me and you need that much more. You got it. I could understand if you say you don't want to see that. Although some people might prefer the back of me to the front of me. I found Dory says, I do a channel about mistakes people make running a channel, and it is interactive, and I do a panel for, okay, everybody go. I found Lori is promoting her channel. So, Dory. So, why not? If you're a beginner, see what Dory has to say. Bill Cook won 65 inches of me. Wow. That's flattering no matter what you're talking about. Tanya says her husband watches the chat on the screen. Ricky Lee says, Mitch, are you taking stress B complex vitamins? No, Ricky, the last thing in the world most carnivores need to take is a vitamin B supplement. According to my blood test, my vitamin B levels are off the chart, as well they should be. So no, I try to minimize the supplements. I really keep it down. Right now I'm just taking vitamin D, and I am taking some fish oil for a while to see if that does anything, but how do you know? Unless you actually get blood tests that show your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, and who among us is focused on that? I still haven't found any questions in the old chat at 9:35. Yeah, right where I usually am, 20, 30 minutes behind. Naruto Kun is there. How you doing, Alvin? Alvin Stacy, don't recognize that name. Tina Perone, good morning for Pork Charlotte. Roger Dodger, love that name. Good morning, Scotter's here. How you doing? Dixie Scott, how are you, Dixie? And Tanya, if I haven't said good morning to you, you're here. Aaron is here, and Bermuda Guy is here. Retired Rick is here. Hiya, Rick. Sandy Blythe is with us. Hi, Jiffy, if I haven't said hi to you already. You guys are busy talking to each other, and B is with us this morning. Good morning. Good morning. There's a question from Lat. First one. I saw Dr. Sives, that's how you pronounce that, call Allulose the fourth sugar. He said it was controversial. Are you going to continue using it? I may cut, it's a teaspoon. They never talk about teaspoons of Allulose. Even tablespoons of Allulose isn't that much. But a teaspoon, it's 4 teaspoons in a tablespoon. So I said, well, let's start with 2. It's still slightly sweet. Maybe next time I make it, and I'm not going to make it again for 3 days. And see, if I have control over that, or if I find myself heading to the kitchen to whip up a batch of this stuff and put it in the freezer so I can eat it in 4 or 5 hours. I'm perfectly content to understand how helpless I am and admit it in the face of addictions. Took a lifetime of wondering, what was I thinking? But I finally figured it out, and I know I'm right because after all these years, I see it happen to me again, just from being in the hospital for 3.5 weeks with the availability of ice cream and shitty food, crappy food, full of sugar, and the mindset and the excuse my subconscious threw at me to start eating 4 or 5 of those little cups of ice cream a day was, you're already eating shit, bitch. Go right ahead and have some more. And the best thing, most enjoyable thing about my entire hospital stay, were those little cups of ice cream, and they were garbage. It was garbage ice cream. God, I'm glad I didn't even look at the ingredients label. I probably would have kicked myself in the ass. I fully accepted it. I'm a realist. And I find myself doing stupid things at the time, which seemed very rational and okay. And we all do that. And the example I use is the universal rationalization. I'll start the diet again tomorrow. One more time won't hurt me. I promise this is the last time I'm going to do this. How many of you have done that with any addictive substance, whether it be alcohol and especially carbohydrate? We can hide from it, but we'll never overcome it. And the only way to overcome it is stop doing that stuff. I will recognize if this ice cream stuff gets the better of me and put a stop to it. I think I'm already re-fat adapted. I haven't eaten since 4 o'clock yesterday. Not hungry now. No cravings now. That's a good sign. I do not want to screw it up again. Don't want to screw it up again. Lady June, how long did the ice cream take once you put it in the Ninja? Well, I didn't want to over process it because that's when it starts to turn into cheese-like. You find if you over process it, you're eating this ice cream and it's chewy and it doesn't melt. And I said, what the hell is that? And turns out it's cheese-like stuff. Horrible. You can't get it off the spoon. You lick the spoon and it's got all this crap stuck to it. It took way too much. I'm sure that if you make the recipes in the book and do it exactly like they said, that they have tailored these different modes, processing modes, of which there are like 6, for that particular recipe. They have regular ice cream, light ice cream, sorbet, milkshake, respin, and mix. I think the modes work great with the right recipe, with the right ingredients, the timing of them, the motion of the blades. But to just throw stuff in there and expect it to make ice cream out of it, forget it. Forget it. So, but once you start, the longest particular cycle, I think, is the light ice cream cycle, and that takes 4 minutes. The respin is the shortest. That's why I used it. And it worked. Trial and error. Trial and error. Looking for question. Lewis is here. Hi, Lewis. Oh, no. That's Sandy. Where was Lewis? Oh, Sandy says hi to Lewis. Hi, Lewis. And Tammy's got a question. QQQ. D3 and K2. I was taking it but stopped as I take Eliquis blood thinner. There is a caution label if you're taking blood thinners and K2. Thoughts? I continue to take D3, shopping on your Amazon link. Well, make sure that the one on my link is K2. I've heard that. I've heard that K2 can be an a coagulant. And you may be right. And I probably haven't been that worried about it because I haven't been really loyal to taking the vitamin D, which I should be. So I'll take that comment with a lot of credibility, Tammy, and maybe do some research today. And if I find, because I've heard that, if I find that I think it really may be a concern, I'll order some straight vitamin D without the K2. I have to find out, does it depend on the quantity, the amount of the K2, and is that amount indeed in the tiny little small dose that I'm taking. I only take one of those little capsules of D, 5,000 international units, which does the trick. So all that has to factor in. Tammy, you have my permission to re-ask me again the next time I'm on here, which will be Friday morning. Did you check it out? Kick me in the ass, will you? I think it's an important point. I think it's an important point. Gemmet says, Gemmet loves my cooking videos, getting those individual salmon and Sam. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. As soon as I'm done here today, I have the last, I think it's either the last week or second to the last week of my in-home physical therapy. As soon as that's over, I'm going to make my first meal of the day. 2 pieces of those salmon, believe it or not, is enough for a meal. But I'll follow it up with my second meal where I'm going to load up with bacon and eggs. Last night for my second meal, I ate some of those beef stew. God, was that good and so easy. And in that one container I made, I've eaten 2 meals out of it, and I haven't gotten halfway through it yet. And I know it's enough because as I got to the last piece of stew meat, and I must have got at least a pound for the meal, I was reaching that point where you start saying, I want to eat that last piece. And that's how you know you're satisfied. Satiety sets in. And you know you've had enough. You don't want any more. That's the beautiful thing about carnivore. One of the few diets that actually satisfies your appetite. And you stop eating naturally, which is what they're trying to mimic with all the GLP-1 agonists, which are basically just raining out of the sky now. Everybody saw a company called Medi Weight Loss advertising. They're pushing GLP-1 drugs, and you can sign up now and get your first month for $149. For those of you who know how much TV commercials cost the advertiser, and just by the sheer volume of ads that we see for weight loss drugs now, you know that people are falling for this. There's a disaster coming, in my opinion, and that'll be sad. You know what else stimulates GLP-1 in the body? Anybody? Burris? Bueller? Eating meat. Eating meat stimulates GLP-1. GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide, is a natural thing in the human body. We make it. It's stimulated by us eating the right foods. So you want to get off cheap? I guarantee you, ribeyes are cheaper than Ozempic. And much tastier. Why don't these people just start eating the right foods? I'll tell you why. They're addicts. They're drug addicts. They're so far into their addiction that they cannot and refuse to stop and will only take the easy way out. And even though they're recommended to stop eating the crap, they view these drugs as a way to keep eating the crap and take the pill. Things like that never work out well. Yes, I'm passionate about it, and I see it every day, and I see the stupid fools that fall for it. They can't change this. The people demand it. They demand it. The demand is there for these things. You can't outlaw something that has demand. It goes black market. Look at prohibition. Addictive substance, the demand is there. You either, one of two things is going to happen. You either continue using that addictive substance, or you simply move your addictive tendencies to a different addictive substance. Ask anybody who attended Alcoholics Anonymous if they didn't end up a heavy smoker afterwards, because it was just one addiction for another. To truly get rid of all your addictions is something that isn't going to happen in most people, especially people being bombarded with all that crap every day from both the substance side, and I'm talking about the food commercials, the availability, convenience stores, and from the cure side, where now you've got one pill, a magic pill, where you can keep eating all that unhealthy crap and die. But if you look deep in the fine print of the literature on these pills, there are warnings out the wazoo about the deadly side effects. Who bothers to read that? Who bothers to read that? Sandy says she doesn't watch the news either. I was talking about those news reporters droning in CB says sounds like the annoying female GPS voice using Google Maps. That's funny. That's funny. Tammy, didn't I put the picture of you up on the website? If it's not there, sweetie, please, I'll look for it. But send it to me again if you got it handy, and I'll make sure I do it. You know, sometimes these little chores get buried in the mountain of stuff that I have to accomplish, and I didn't think I missed any. But send it to me again, would you? Sandy tells me I giggle more now. I'm doing pretty good. Excuse me a second. Yeah. A little nose blowing interlude there. Why hide it? We all do it. And Lori agreed. Super. Ellen is here. Ellen says, "Good morning, Mitch. How are you doing?" And Lori volunteered to be my producer manager. Thanks, Lori. I think I complain about it, but I think it would just overcomplicate things. But I appreciate the thought. Everybody's saying hi to Ellen, retired. Rick made the ice cream last night. Delicious heavy cream, egg yolks, and salt. Yeah, that's another thing. People tell me it's better if you add salt to it. At first blush, that sounds like a really bad idea, but so does adding salt to coffee. And you put a pinch of salt in a cup of coffee, makes it taste better. And I think a lot of time it does bring out the sweetness. That kind of explains something called the bliss point we've all talked about. The scientific point at which a combination of fat, salt, and sugar become addictive as hell. So I'll have to try that one time and see. See here, it's true. Jeff said, Mitch, you always said no to snacking low carb. That's true. That's true. I had it just dawned on me, you're being a hypocrite, Mitch. You've been, for years, all you've been doing is saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. What are you doing? Power of addiction. It takes over your thinking. That's how it accomplishes what it needs. It takes over your thinking. Only to leave you questioning your thinking when it gives it back to you after it's had what it wants. And that's usually manifests itself as guilt and shame and questioning yourself with, what the hell was I thinking? Any of you who have never found yourself in that position, raise your hand. Anybody? Don't see many hands. Karen, how you doing, Karen? Yes, welcome. Karen Shipley joined yesterday. Good morning as a new member, a Buckeye from Ohio. Good to see you, Karen. I hope you become a regular, and I hope to see you Thursday night on our private community live stream. Ellen continues to say hi to everybody. I feel like I'm calling a horse race here. Wow, is it 10:25 already? Holy cow. I'm still 30 minutes behind. Wow. Excuse me, but something's itchy. It may be a mustache hair that's decided it needs sunlight and turned up. Sometimes that happens. Let me run through this and see if I have quick. Find any questions. I can't go too long overtime today because I do have physical therapy. I think today and next week, and then I'm done with it. I discussed the fact with both my occupational therapist and my physical therapist as to whether I need to seek more therapy, maybe with the VA, because they offer that. I don't have to go there for it, but they do a lot of physical therapy. And both of them said they think I'm going to do fine because I search out things that they would consider therapy, things that I need to recover, I need to do on a daily basis, and I'm conscientious about doing more of that. And that's indeed the essence of therapy. And I've learned enough exercises from them, and I have a book full of those things where I don't know if I really need the supervision. We'll see. If I feel like I do need it, I'll go and look for it and get it. Kevin says, question, Mitch, do you eat any bacon? You used to, I eat bacon every day or every other day because I have eggs. Try to have eggs almost every day, and I either have it with bacon, ground beef, or fish. But I think eggs are some of the best things that any human being can eat. They're nature's vitamin pill. Keep talking about that. But yes, absolutely. And I continue to make bacon fat. I have got a full gallon of bacon fat in my refrigerator. I don't know what I'm going to do with all that bacon fat. Okay, looking for any more questions here. Still chiming. Oh, this is where you started chiming in about whether you like to chat on the screen. I already talked about that. I kind of watched that in real time. CBS is a recent chat. Says, Mitch, I got worried on your last video when you walked unsupported from the fridge and appeared to almost stumble. Be careful. That's a double-edged sword, CB. I didn't stumble. I didn't even come close to stumbling, but it may have looked like I did. The biggest cause of anything that looks like that is when I don't lift my right leg enough and my foot sticks to the ground. The rubber-soled sneaker just doesn't move. My reflexes are fast enough to stop me instantly when that happens, and I just stop. Think about it, then pick up my foot and take a step. I have really only come close to what I thought was maybe falling once since I've been home from the hospital, but I didn't fall, which really is, I hate to jinx myself, but I'm really conscious of all this stuff. And generally, right now, when I walk unaided, it's generally close enough to something like a door frame, kitchen counter, refrigerator door, my walker, something that I can just touch, because I instantly regain my balance with just the minute my fingertip touches something that isn't moving. I think it's something that tells me you're steady now in my brain, and my balance comes immediately back. Which is why I'm practicing more and more walking with just that little cane. I got another one. I have two of them now, so I can leave them in different places or take one with me if I go out in my car. And that's where the real practice comes. And practicing balance exercises in that corner of my kitchen where the counters come together with that angle behind me, the walker in front of me with the handles right there. And that's where I practice these balance exercises where I actually close my eyes, try to balance on one foot, then the other foot, move my head sideways, up and down, and try to screw up my balance because it all comes from the inner ear anyway. Balancing requires very good brain to muscle connections because things have to happen rapidly. Outside of your consciousness, it has to be automatic corrections in your muscles to balance. You don't think about balancing. If you try to think about balancing, you fall over. I have to keep doing what I'm doing, and those connections will strengthen, and it'll get stronger, and it'll get easier. But think about it. When you go for a walk, the last thing in your conscious mind is, I got to be careful to balance myself or I'll fall over. That minute control your muscles cannot be in the purview of your conscious thought. We're not fast enough in that arena. Certainly not. So, CB, not to worry. That's why I have the button, and this thing if I did fall, this thing would actually detect a fall. There are some times when I let it drop too hard or something like that, it says fall detected. Press the button to cancel. And if I didn't cancel, I would be talking to one of their people. Did you fall? If they didn't hear any answer, I'd probably have 911 coming. If they did answer, I could say, yeah, I fell, but I'm okay. Or I could say, call my son, call my daughter. Speaking of son or daughter, I didn't text them that I was okay this morning, and they're probably texting me. Diane, good morning. I see you on YouTube, so I know you're alive. Hi, baby. Hi, Dee. How are you? That's great. That's great. And that's smart. You know, some people, when you go missing, they start calling the hospitals. My kids are smart. My daughter says, well, my dad didn't check in this morning. And sometimes I forget when I have to do a live stream because I'm busy setting up for it. She's smart enough to say, before I panic, let me see if he's on YouTube. And here I am. Oh, that's great. I love it. Thank you, Dee. Thank you. I won't bother checking in, but I'll talk to you later. Tammy, question. I posted a question. Yes, I think I got it. Tammy Jemmett says, that's when I was busy talking about everything and not answering the questions. Appreciate the reminder. Here's another one. Andy Carnivore. I bought one of the D-Buyer frying pans when it was $95. I found some rust on it recently. I wondered what you would do. You don't have to restore it. Take a little steel wool. Take anything. Take a scrubby pad. Take it right down to the metal. That's the beautiful thing about this. You could find one in a barn that's 50 years old and rusty as hell, and you could just sand all the rust off and then start with a brand new pan and re-season it. It's the seasoning that keeps it from rusting. So it's not a panic. You cannot destroy these things. It would take hundreds of years for them to be destroyed if they sat out in the rain, I think. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you found some rust on it, it's because you're leaving it out unseasoned in a moist environment. I've done that with mine once or twice when you haven't, if for some reason you don't use it for a while. No problem. Just take a scrubby, get rid of it. But make sure if you're going to put it away for a long period of time, you take a little fat, bacon fat, even vegetable oil, it doesn't matter, and put a light coating on it to protect it like anything. The fact that it's not coated is why these pans season like they do and cook like they do. Same thing with a cast iron pan. Exactly the same thing would happen with a cast iron. You have a big cast iron pan left down to you from generations before. If you do the same thing, if you leave it sit out with no protection on it, no coating of oil, no good seasoning, it'll rust. People restore those things all the time, but you don't have to consider it restoration. Just get rid of the rust and re-season it. And that means 2 or 3 times, go through, putting the oil in it, heat it up, letting it cool. Put some more oil in it, heat it up, let it go. Don't forget to go, it doesn't hurt on the outside of the sides. Put a little oil, put a little of that there too. There are 10,000 videos on YouTube, which is why I never made one, how to season a carbon steel pan. It's really simple and it's almost no work. I keep a dedicated rag and a little squeeze bottle full of grapeseed oil up right above my stove. It's right there when I need to do it. If I need to make a video out of it, I'll do that. Let me know if you want one. Searching for more questions. I am up to 10:11. Making a little headway. I think I don't see any more. Not yet. Peter's here. Hiya, Peter. How you doing? Morning. 2 carnivore quacks. If you're a doctor, you don't want people to call you a quack. Stephen Albach's with us. Hi, Stephen. How are you? Peter's now saying hi to everybody. Pamela Suarez, how you doing? Good to see you. DS111's here. How are you? Good to see you. Somebody suggested that you can make coffee ice cream. I said, wow, that sounds good. I may try to do that, but I have to see if I can deal with this first. So that's what I'm doing now. So you're probably not going to see any more ice cream videos from me for a while until I learn if it's destructive to carnivore, if you're an addict, because most of us are addicts. And that's how I learn everything, through my own experimenting, my own experience. And I have no agenda. I'm perfectly honest about it. If I think that it's wrong to eat ice cream for severe addicts, I'll tell you. But I'm not taking anybody else's word for it. I'm finding out for myself. And then I can tell you, like I try to always do, not that this guy said this or that guy said that, but I tried this and that happened. Make of it what you will. Carnivore Keith, haven't seen you before. Carnivore with a K. It's cool to have a little ice cream dessert. Yes. As opposed to it's warm to have a little ice cream dessert. And evidently, Laurie knows carnivore. Just, there's my buddy. Carnivore Keith. Okay, we're 10:26. We are catching up. We are catching up. Any more questions? Any more questions? Lambs has one. Have you done exercises with your therapist? How to get up from the floor on your own in case you fall? Yes, I have. I can do it. I can get up. Basically, you roll over on your stomach, you push yourself up, get on your knees, you figure out a way to waddle over to something that isn't too high, like a piano bench or a chair. You use the chair from your knees as a support. Put one foot up, your good leg up to where you're trying to stand, and push off the chair and try to stand up or get into there somehow. It ain't easy, but yeah. I'm not worried about getting back up. I'm more worried about hurting myself in a fall, hitting my head, breaking something, an arm, a hip. You don't want to fall. You don't want to fall. But on the other hand, how do you, no risk, no reward, how do you regain your balance and your freedom to walk? Unless you can practice it, how do you practice it without the risk of falling? And the way to minimize that is to practice the walking with enough things around you to support you should you feel like you're losing your balance. It's a very fine line. It's a very fine line. And it's tense. Mitch, just make sure that foot doesn't get stuck. No, that's not the kind of stuck that it gets. It doesn't get stuck. You want your foot stuck on the accelerator. You don't want it to slip off. When it comes to the floor, when you try, when your body says time to move your leg forward and the foot sticks to the floor is when you have a problem. So Gary, that can't happen. Can't happen. And the spring on the accelerator is strong enough that it takes a conscious effort just to hold it down and keep the car going. If anything, the tendency is for it to come up off the accelerator. I don't do a lot of driving now, but the motion to push it is very controllable. The motion to move the leg side to side. The worst thing that could happen is when I need to move the brake, and I keep my left leg is right there, and I've already noticed that in any kind of reflex situation, it's the right leg and the left leg that I find on the brake pedal. So I'm much more able to drive safely than most people, most drunks, most young people, most old people who can't see. They all should be able to drive as safely as I can drive right now. Especially the teenagers and their friggin' cell phones. Jesse's Adventures, how you doing? Good morning to you. Seen you in a while. Okay, at 10:30, so let's begin to wrap this up. Let me start scrolling faster through this, looking for any additional questions that I may have missed. Aunt B says, how do I become as smart as you, YouTuber? That's great, B. Thank you. That's great. I love it. I love it. Those of you who've been here before know the context of that. Ellen says, a dollop of coffee, of ice cream in your coffee would be great. Yeah, the problem is, you're going to eat what's left. You're not going to just make a dollop. You're going to make a pint, probably. Oh, we're almost there. Almost there. Any more questions? You know, I really try to get through the whole chat, and I have got to the bottom of the chat. Terry Sue, I'm getting confused with Kilt's pushing to eat more raw meat. I can't see myself eating raw food. Everybody, I don't know why raw meat is probably good for you if you have a reliable, believable source of pristine meat, which Kiltz does. Very expensive. If I was getting my meat on the general market from Sam's or Costco, I'd cook it some. I think cavemen cooked their meat too when they discovered fire, and there's no real consensus. I think most people think about 1 million years ago. So if it's been working for 1 million years, I'll go with it. I think it's had enough. That Pamela says, Pamela says, I like cold raw hamburger with salt. That's steak tartare. And if you got fresh hamburger, that's fine. A lot of people eat that stuff. Jebet wants to know if I eat chicken. I eat chicken thighs maybe once a week. And I air with the skin on. I air fry them. And that's where I use that Kinder seasoning. A little bit of garlic salt. That's it. I like them. They're good. They're tasty. A lot of fat in them. And it's a little bit of variety. So my friends, it's time for a little happy music. It's time for you to start saying goodbye to each other. It's time for me to drink a little more of my coffee, which has been sitting patiently on the coffee warmer that I have, and still hot. So say goodbye to each other in the chat. CB Carmack is waving. Aaron, bye everyone until we meet again. Retired Rick says bye everyone. Final reminder, don't forget, if you got to buy something from Amazon, go to my website to the links to stuff I use every day page. If you don't have to buy something that I recommended, all the kitchen gadgets and everything, just go to Amazon through one of those links and you will help me out. I'm beginning to see an increase in the usage of those Amazon things. Thank you very much. Doesn't cost you anything. Thank you so much. It adds a little security to the fact that I really want to keep doing what I'm doing. And that little bit of help is all it takes. OldGuyCarnivore.com. Links to stuff I use page. And there's a lot of useful information on that website that I've worked very hard to put up there. So look at it. Thank you. End of commercial announcement. My friends, thanks so much for coming today. Thank you. Thank you. Always good to see you. I am starting to consider adding another day. My goal is to get back to at least 6 days a week and take 1 day off. Maybe next week I'll announce the addition of a 4th morning coffee. I used to love doing it every day. I'm getting to the point now in my recovery where that's possible. The next one's going to be Friday, this Friday at 9:30. Thursday night, we have a private community live stream. I will see you all then. But in the meantime, take the rest of the day off, my friends, and eat meat.